So with credit, everything is registered and reported for 7 years, good or bad. So let's say you open up a Bank of America credit card. And I'm going to say that we opened that card up May 2013, okay? Or it could have been opened up earlier. We could have opened that up in 2000. So you opened up the line of credit in 2000, everything went well, but then you had a bout with cancer. And now that you have a bout with cancer, you can't work, you're unemployed, and you fell behind on your credit card payments. So now once you fall behind on your credit card payments, they go into collections in-house. So with Bank of America, that credit card debt will go into collections for 30 days. They'll try to work with you. 60 days, they'll try to work with you. 90 days, they'll try to work with you. But after 120 days, that's 4 months. After 4 months, it's charged off, okay? So the debt is charged off, and that entity, that creditor, then gets a tax credit. So for example, let's say that Bank of America makes $10 billion a year, okay? So all these creditors always have a provision of 20% loss because they know that some of their customers are not going to pay, and they look forward to that loss. So Bank of America has earned $10 million in business, but then they have $2 billion in charge-offs, right? So what happens is that $2 million is deducted from the $2 billion is deducted from the $10 billion. Now that creditor has a tax credit of a tax bracket of $8 billion. So they earned $10 billion, they lost 2, and they pay taxes on $8 billion. So the loss is a gain. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. So going back to the credit, 120 days is it charged off. So it charges off, and the debt goes into a debt pool. A debt pool. So technically, Bank of America no longer owns that debt, and if you try to call them and communicate with them and negotiate with them, they're going to direct you to the first collection agency that bought the debt. So the debt goes into a debt pool, and debt buyers buy the debt. Collection agencies are debt buyers. Now here's the part that bothers me. So let's say that your debt was $20,000, right? The debt buyer only spends like 2% or 2.5% on that debt, okay? I'm trying to get to my calculator. So if that is the case, when they purchase that $20,000 debt, they only purchase it at like $400, right? And I'm going to get the calculation to make sure. So we have $20,000 times 2.5%. Clear. $20,000 times 2.5. Okay, so that's $500. So the first collection agency purchases this debt for $500, okay? And then they come after you for that full amount. But let's talk about what happens to that debt. So you went into collections May 2013. So that becomes a derogatory 9. A derogatory 9 is equivalent to a bankruptcy. So your score has dropped greatly. If you were at 700, it probably dropped to 600, okay? So Bank of America credit card, 4 months, it goes into collections, right? It's charged off. It goes to a debt pool. The debt buyers purchases the debt, which is the collection agencies. So the first collection agency purchases the debt for $500. Now, when they purchase the debt, they hold on to it for X amount of time, and sometimes they'll sell it over and over again. Now, that became derogatory on your credit report May 2013. It's going to report for 7 years. So this is going to stay until May 2020, okay? So that's going to stay till May 2020. So the the credit repair agency comes on board and say, this is what we're going to do for you. They take a look at your credit report and they write letters. So you have some debt that's about to expire. It's called time barred. So that debt is only good for 7 years. So now we know that your credit score is not going to move or change until May 2020. So a few things is going to happen during that time. So the debt is no longer $20,000, it's $500, but we don't know that because on paper it's still $20,000.
So do you use the same tactics as far as credit repair, as far as writing the letters?
Correct.
Okay.
Right. So that's what we do basically. So you start off with the credit report, and you'll find some debt that should be off, but it hasn't fallen off yet. So because it hasn't fallen off yet, you simply write a letter to the creditor or to the reporting agency, to Equifax, to say, oh, this debt is time barred, and all that will come off. You also want to write if there's...
Time barred means it expired.
That means it expired.
It's on your credit, it's affecting your credit, but because of the time that's lapsed or passed, you can write a letter and get it off. Because
exactly.
And so how much time is the general for each credit item?
7 years.
Oh.
So it stays on your credit report 7 years, good or bad, right?
So what if you have something on your credit that's not quite 7 years? You know, and you're in the process of credit repair, need to get it off.
And that's the part, that's what we're talking about. So if they come to you and you're paying all this money for the credit report, so we're looking at your credit report and we say, oh, well, you have this charge off, which is a derogatory 9, but that charge off is not going to fall off until May 2020.
Okay.
Now, the only thing we can do within that time, you can pay the balance due, or you can negotiate, because the first thing you want to do is negotiate with the collection agency, because you know, now that I'm telling you, that they didn't purchase the debt at $20,000. They purchased the debt at 2.5%. So then you negotiate, you say, hey, I'll settle $4,000. Right? Okay, so they don't want to play ball. We're going to keep playing tit for tat with letters and things, because what we want to do at this time, we want that collection agency to pursue us in court. We want to be sued. Why would you want to be sued, Angela? Because this is going to put the final touch on this debt, right? So they pursue you usually in magistrate court. The reason why they pursue you in magistrate court is because they have no substance to their claim. So they go in, this is the collection agencies, they'll hire a local attorney that will take that case and go down to the local court, Fulton County, DeKalb, Gwinnett, what have you, and file. So, and they rig up affidavits and things like that technically is not admissible, but you have to point out to the court that it's not admissible. So they take you to court to sue you in magistrate court. This is wonderful. So you receive that summons, you come to me, and we'll sit down and write a response to that summons. And in the response, we're going to tell the court that the law firm's client, the collection agency, has not proven ownership of the debt, right? And we want to go to trial. So you go to court, there's going to be 60 people there, 3 attorneys representing 2 or 3 collection agencies. And then you have to go down the hall and mediate with the law firm in regards to the settlement on the payment.
Boy, she breaking it down.
Then you come back to the judge and you say, well, they agree to pay $400 a month until
you
it's
go
paid
down
off.
the hall. Wait a minute. I'm because of the time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But this is really, really good. I mean, I like her, Tawaya. This is really good.
Exactly.
Not only is she so knowledgeable, well spoken, she's strong, beautiful black woman. I love the information and your passion about it.
But before we run out of time, let me give you the plateau of this lesson.
Okay.
So you go down the hall, you're there mediating with the law firm, and you look at the attorneys and say, your client, the collection agency, has not proven ownership of this debt, and I want to go to trial. Here's the catch. Magistrate court does not go to trial. So the only move that the attorney has to make at that time is to dismiss the case.
Oh, so
now normally I charge you for this, right? But we're going to give it to you today, right? So if you ever get sued by a collection agency and you receive summons from the law firm, respond to it. Put in a response to the court, and you're going to tell the court that the collection agency has not proven ownership of the debt because they purchased debt in bulk. And according to the law, you cannot prove ownership of a single account when you purchase 10,000 accounts at one time. Where is the bill of sale? You feel me? So because of this, this is what we stand on. We go to magistrate court because 9 out of 10 cases are going to be filed in magistrate court because they have no substance. They're just getting you on paperwork, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And once they file a claim against you, you respond and you're going to tell the court that the collection agency has improved ownership and you will appear on that day. When you appear on that day, make sure to turn your phone off. If your phone goes off in the courtroom, you will be removed and your claim will go on without you. So make sure to do that. When you go down the hall with the law firm that's suing you and you tell them that their client, the collection agency, has not proven ownership and you want to go to trial, and the only move that that law firm can make is to dismiss it.
Wow, yes, good information.